How's everyone doing, guys? Welcome to Let's Chat Football. My name is Dylan. I'm a lifelong Arsenal fan, and this is something I've been wanting to start for a very long time. I'm someone who is obsessed with the game and why things happen on a football pitch. In this podcast, I'm going to be analysing all things Premier League, not just Arsenal, as well as some of the other talking points around the football world. In today's video, I wanted to talk a bit about an unpopular opinion that I have regarding the state of the refereeing in today's game. In my opinion, I actually think that the players themselves ref the game. Well, yeah, inevitably the referee makes the final call and a decision. It's also down to the players whether or not they go down looking for a free kick or a penalty. Like they go down and they give the referee a decision to make. But when you actually think about it, the players themselves know if there's enough for a foul or for a penalty. But they go down anyway looking for it regardless. A lot of these players are not stupid, like they know if say the ball is you're not sure between a defender and attacker who it comes off last. Is it a goal kick or is it a corner? A lot of the time they know themselves if it's a goal kick or a corner, but they're still going to appeal. And yeah, I think this just contributes to the uncertainty and the subjectivity of decisions that are being made. The players play a massive part in this, in my opinion. Like I actually remember playing a Sunday league game going back there a few years ago, and there was this player on the other team. I think he was playing in midfield, and I just remember him for every single decision he was calling the decision to go in his team's favor, even when he knew 100% that it wasn't what he was asking for. I could just remember at one stage in the game, he absolutely booted the ball out for the throw in. Clearly didn't come off any other player. It was just him. He mishit the ball. It went out. And what did he do? He looked to the ref and he was calling for the throw in to be given to his team. Everyone that day on the sideline and even the referee himself, they were laughing away, going, like, is this fella actually for real calling for that? It just kind of got me thinking that in his mindset, I suppose that player on that day, he's trying to add to the uncertainty in the ref's mind regarding the decisions he was making in that game. Now, I know it's only a Sunday league level, but I can only imagine at like the highest level when things are, the game is going at 100 mile an hour and the referee might miss something, and it could just be like a 1% doubt in the referee's mind that could sway a decision either way. But I guess the point I'm making is that the players know if the call is right or not, but they're still asking for stuff that clearly isn't theirs. I guess my point is, like, at the highest level in the game where pretty much every refereeing decision is heavily scrutinized now, how hard it can be to get to the right call when players are going down under minimal or no contact, looking for fouls, looking for free kicks, looking for penalties. But yeah, I just feel like the players' role in some of these controversial decisions that are being made by these referees, it often gets overlooked, the players' role in that. There's no doubt in my mind that referees in general would make better calls if the players weren't constantly looking for the decisions to go their way. But guys, what happened to the advantage rule? I mean, I just had to have a bit of a chat here about the Szoboszlai red card against Liverpool at Anfield against Man City on, I think it was the 8th of Feb. But yeah, I just could not believe the referees that day and their need to get involved. See, this is like nearly a perfect example sometimes of where I think rules and definitions, they they all just like go out the window for me. So look, Szoboszlai gets recarded. He pulls back Haaland. He's technically denied a goal scoring opportunity. He hasn't played the ball. I get all that. That's just where I think sometimes context needs to be taken into account. Because when you actually deep what happened, right? He's tried to pull back Haaland and get to the ball. The ball is going into the back of the net anyway. What's the biggest advantage in football? There's no bigger advantage than getting a goal. So if the ball is going into the net anyway, and whatever happened between Szoboszlai and Haaland happened, really what happened between them is actually irrelevant, because there's no greater advantage in football than actually getting a goal. So basically, Man City, they ended up winning the game 2-1. It should have been 3-1. But could you imagine if later on in the season, if the league comes down to one goal difference? I mean, everyone's going to look back at that and go, lads, you made the wrong call there. I just don't understand why the advantage here has been taken away from the attacking team. These are the type of decisions that can affect the title race. But yeah, there's just no justification of the rules for me, where in this scenario, like them getting involved and giving a red card, bringing the play back, it just nobody can actually tell me in the rule book that what they did was correct, because all along we've always had advantage. Like if a player takes down another player and the play goes on and they score, then that's where an advantage has been played perfectly. But I just don't understand in this scenario how they needed to get involved here when the advantage to Man City was to gain a goal. Just play the advantage, and if the advantage has ended up as a goal, then the referee has done their job. So another incident that I wanted to talk about today in today's video is an incident in a match between Galatasaray and Juventus. So in this image here, you can see that Lloyd Kelly has jumped up for a header and he's won the header, and on his landing, he comes down the back of Yilmaz's leg. Now, I have no doubt that this action is a sore one for Yilmaz. In fact, very sore. He's come down the back, completely down the back of his leg there, probably down near his Achilles area. But it was completely accidental. So the referee at the time actually gave him a second yellow card and he got sent off. Now I remember watching this at the time and I was like, I was actually flabbergasted of their failure to take into context of the situation of what actually happened. So the referee gives a yellow, he's getting sent off, and then it goes to VAR. Now in my head when I was watching it, I was going, are they actually going to come to the right decision here? But then I realized that they can't get involved with second yellows with VAR. So the only possible scenario here was that they were going to give a red card, a straight red card, and that's what they did. So they ended up upgrading the second yellow card to a straight red card, which was just absolutely bizarre in my head. Like they just completely failed to take into account the context here. So Kelly wins the header. He comes down on top of Yilmaz's leg accidentally. Look at his face. He's in game mode. He's headed the ball and he's looking out this way. He's not looking down at Yilmaz's leg and going, "Oh, I'm going to come down on top of him there. I'm going to give him a nasty one." There's just no way that he can know that Yilmaz's leg is there and that he's going to come down on top of it. But the mad thing about it for me is that basically this decision here has told me that if I'm playing a game of football and if I go up and I win a header and I'm coming back down on my landing, that I need to have a look down and see that, make sure that basically a player's leg is not in my way when I'm coming down, because that could be a red card. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So you're pretty much saying that every player needs to look down on their landing when they jump up for a header. It's just crazy. It just for me just it typified that the outcome of him coming down on his leg is equal to the punishment of a red card. Like in another scenario there, if a player came down on someone's leg and you know that they've done it intentionally, 100% it's a red card. But in this scenario here, with the context given, it just can't be a red card. It's like as if their justification was, well, look, his studs have come down the back of his leg, so that means it has to be a red card, without actually giving all the facts and the evidence and just the context of what has happened. There's no way that Kelly has gone to hurt him. There's just no way. And the last area that I wanted to talk about is regarding offside. In my head, from watching football all these years, it's just amazing to me that people can argue against offside. When you play a pass through to a striker, say, in a situation and he's up against the last defender, that striker is either offside, he's either level, which means he's onside, or else he's behind the defender, which means he's onside. So this business that, oh, if he's only a centimeter offside, you should give the goal. It just baffles my mind. So I'm actually going to bring it back to Chelsea playing Wrexham in the FA Cup, and I remember Wrexham had a goal ruled out for offside, and it was actually quite clear on the replay that it was off. It wasn't a close one, but I remember people actually saying that the goal should be given because he's only like this much offside. You're either on or you're off. Now, what I do have an issue with regarding offside is more with the VAR and where they end up drawing the lines when they're looking at offside calls. I'm going to take it back to the Fulham v Liverpool game at Craven Cottage. In that game, Florian Wirtz scored a goal for Liverpool, and the replays showed that by the cut of the grass that he was offside, but the goal was given. And I just remember at the time, like I was scratching my head, going, how is this being given when you can clearly see by the lines in the grass that he is offside. He's past. You can see the change in color of the grass, the way the grass has been lawned, I suppose. That he's on one side and the defender is on the other side of the grass. So in my head, I'm like, it's just been ingrained in my head from all my years of watching football that those grades of grass are straight lines, but maybe that's not the case. But they ended up giving the goal, and I remember the PGMOL or whichever they're called came out afterwards. They noted that with the VAR, when they're drawing the lines, that there's a 5 centimeter margin for error. Like, I remember just completely being unaware of this margin, and suddenly they're telling us that there is this margin. I don't think many fans at the time would have actually known there was a margin. But it just got me thinking, are there other goals that have been given or not given because of this 5 centimeter allowance? Like, I can't fathom that the Verts one was the first. It's just the verse one was more noticeable because of the shades of grass. But how many other goals or non-goals are there that have been ruled out or given because of this 5 centimeter allowance? And yeah, it just got me thinking as well. Like, is the technology actually fit for purpose? Because if there is this 5 centimeter margin for error, players could technically be offside, so, and you're giving them the benefit. Or players might be, oh, what if it's 6 centimeters? Like, so we're basically saying 5 centimeters is okay, but 6 centimeters isn't, or 5.5 centimeters isn't. Like, what are we doing here? Like, so yeah, if you're like me and you can understand some of the decisions, but you like dissecting them, then make sure to follow my channel for some more content. I hope to make this a regular feature on the channel, so stay tuned and thanks for watching.